This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with that prize guy. I'm delighted to be joined on Zoom once again with Shauna Browne. How are you, Shauna?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm sure there's probably fair to say today a different swagger about you. Obviously, back to winning ways, back to sort of erasing in a way from your mind from obviously your fight in March, but you have a different swagger about you today that smiles back in the face. You're back to winning ways and I'm back to pushing on now.
To be honest, Stephen, I'm actually always smiling. But I am smiling that bit extra, of course. I got back in the ring on Saturday and got back to winning ways, which is where I need to be. Um, I'm not. Like I spoke to you. I don't have the high that everybody has. I'm just on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. I'll have a bigger smile on my face when I get my next date. That's what's most important. I got a great 6 rounds in. Got a game plan off my coach. I executed very, very well considering we're not that long together. So I'm really, really happy with that, to be honest.
Who is your new coach? Obviously, I know that you changed, but I wasn't aware of who the new coach was.
Aaron Woodcock, he's in Intent Boxing. Yeah, very, very good coach, man. The way his brain works is like nothing I've ever seen before. He has a different blueprint and it works. So, and obviously I showed it on Saturday night. People that understand boxing will understand exactly what we're doing inside in that ring. It's completely different to what I normally do. Shauna Browne normally just goes out, trailblazes, and just throws absolutely anything. And sometimes it can get me places, but it can also get me caught. And yesterday was the probably very least I've ever got caught inside in the ring by far. So yeah, it was really good now, to be honest.
Just obviously, I want to roll back, obviously, to the SSA arena. We obviously have to go back there. It's strange in the way, Shauna, because I remember when I interviewed you in Galway, and obviously you're saying, your knockout, if it was on the big platform, it would obviously went viral. Unfortunately, it worked the opposite way for you. Obviously, a Leafs obviously knockout of yourself went viral. So it was sort of deja vu, sort of nearly in the opposite way. She get the viral clip. Like obviously, I seen you afterwards. When someone's knocked out, I always make the thing that I won't interview them. I know it wasn't a really bad knockout and things like that, but you were still there and you were still smiling. You were still enjoying the rest of the card. Like this is boxing. Someone lands a punch and it's over. There's no point crying over sort of spilt milk. It's just get on with things and learn and improve and adapt and come back again.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen it, I put it on my Instagram. I made a complete joke out of it as well. Like, there's no point me to throw my toys out the pram, blaming everybody around me. I could have made a conscious decision for myself to not get in the ring. I knew I wasn't ready. Mentally, I was physically ready, mentally wasn't. The weight cut was all wrong. There was an accumulation of things. I had a dream I got knocked out 3 weeks before, and I never do that. But when Shauna Browne and all the boxes aren't ticked when it comes to camp, I'm mentally bet before I get in the ring, and none of the boxes were ticked. Just put it that way, none of them. And I still took the fight. You get dangled a carrot, you don't turn it down. I unfortunately put myself on the receiving end of it. I did recover extremely well, but I made the mistake by not putting my hands. I ran to the corner instead of putting up my hands and then turning into the corner. But I do believe I recovered well from it. I made a reel of and put my knockouts together and said, what you call a pie in the face, and put myself finishing it. Came back around. But who's to say it won't come back around again for me doing it to somebody else? It won't happen me. I'll make sure I never get into the ring unless I'm fully, fully prepped and fully ready. Ever again. No matter who is in my corner, no matter who's a part of my team. I will always, always put myself first. Boxing's the most amazing thing in the world, and us fighters, unfortunately, we have our hands tied in most situations, which we do. But yeah, my welfare and my well-being is way more important, so I won't put myself in a situation like that ever again. I learned the lesson, but to be honest, as they say, God gives you chaos for a reason if you don't listen. And I got abundance of chaos. I did, but I sorted it all out. I went back to the gym, changed everything I need to change. I'm in the best place mentally, physically, emotionally now. As everybody's seen in the ring Saturday night, I was a complete different person in the ring Saturday night. And it wasn't that long ago. I made a lot of changes in such a small space of time. It's only my seventh fight. So I'm only going to keep getting progressively better and better and better because that's what I'm in this sport to do.
But I guess on hindsight, sort of now looking back and obviously what's happened, like you're probably looking at it as a blessing in a way because if you don't make a mistake, if you don't sort of the wheels fall off at some stage, you can't recover. Like if you'd have got to say 15-0 and you're a world champion and then it happened, it might have been harder to fix. So at least when it's happened for you earlier on, I know it's good now to say, oh, but it's happened. If it hadn't happened, you wouldn't have known what you maybe might need to fix or you might need to learn from. Like you're still less than 2 years as a pro as well, so you're going to still make these mistakes.
Yeah, of course, it is definitely 100% better I made it now because I can do the adjustments before I get to that world level. Like you said, Steve, I'm not long a pro, but I've actually done quite a lot in such a small space of time. Being blessed with Spencer, being able to fight as often as I did, I was able to climb the ladder very quickly. Being top 10, being number 7 in the IBF and number 6 in the WBA since my fifth fight. That's extremely, extremely good, man. It's really good. So I'm not going to discredit in any way, shape, or form. It just goes to show where I am going to go. The fact that I did climb that quickly, just had a bit of a standstill, had to do just a bit of a readjustment. And I made the readjustments. No offense. A lot of people wouldn't have taken what I took as well as I did. And that's why I got offers. People seeing how well I handled the defeat and the knockout. I went straight back to the gym and made the changes that needed to be changed. But I also took full responsibility for it. I can't blame anybody. I knew it wasn't a good idea and I still got in. So I need to look at myself, which I have done. Yeah, I've learned a massive valuable lesson and it's only made me better inside and outside the ring. It's calmed me down an awful lot as a person, but it's made me look at a lot of things. I had to cut out an awful lot of things and people in my life. People I wouldn't have normally left around that kind of take too much out of you, aka energy. Because as you know, lads, you need your energy to be at the highest frequency. Your mind needs to be free. Anyone that's a fighter knows, and anyone that's around a fighter, we need peace of mind, lads. So if there's anyone that's around you that's taking that away, even the slightest, they've got to go because it's either them or your career. And that's just the simple term of it. So I made all those changes and I'm better for it. So I thank Gila Tran in a sense.
Like I guess when we sort of roll back to sort of last week, it wasn't even plain sailing for you last week as well. Like obviously you had an opponent. That opponent then didn't happen. Like there was other opponents there that the British Boxing Board and things like that were turning down as well. Like it's always the way, isn't it? Like you have your first defeat, and then obviously you're in the comeback back, and I see it so often. It's not even just with yourself, Sean. It's with others. There seems to be obstacles still in the way to try and get you back, and thankfully George has obviously stepped in. Very short notice. And that's a massive credit to her. That she done that because like you could have been sort of going today and going, what's going on? This fight game just completely changed for yourself overnight.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Steve. If anyone went through what I went through in the last 10 days, they would have pulled the fight. They wouldn't have went through it. We went through, I'd say about 30, if not, I'd say about 20 or 30 opponents, and every one of them said flat no. We really did believe that people would have thought there was kinks in my armory after getting chinned, that it would have been easier to get a fight. But they look at the knockout ratio. They look at the fact that I'm sparring partners with Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor's the best in the world. So it didn't really go with me. It went massively against me. And then obviously there was issues with the board, which I spoke to the board, everything's all right. It was unfortunately just the opponents that were picked. And then Georgia. Thankfully, Georgia did take it. It actually only got locked in at 9:30 Thursday night. 9:30 Thursday night. We were originally supposed to weigh in on the Friday, but I was like, nah, we'll do an on the day weigh in. So we travelled the whole way to Stoke on the day, 3.5, 4 hours, weighed in, and I got in the ring. But in my mind, when I was driving down, so I like to change the narrative and look at it in the best way possible. I felt like I was going to an All Ireland final. That's the way I looked at it. And getting through Georgia was my golden ticket to put on a performance to potentially, hopefully, get September 13th. So that's the spin that I can put on it that justifies everything that went wrong. The amount of calls I got, they were like, Shauna, are you okay? Mentally, are you okay? Da da da, because of all the stuff I went through. And I was like, yeah, unfortunately, it's what comes in the game. If I'm anyway soft, if I don't have thick skin, I'm not for it. I'm actually not for it. My biggest priority was getting in the ring no matter what it took, no matter how much money I had to pay. I didn't care. I really didn't care. I made no money on Saturday and I didn't care. The biggest thing was to get in and get the sixth rounder. That's all that matters to me. Everyone knows since I've been in this game, I've said it since day one. I just want to win. I want to win fights. I want to build a legacy. I want to win world titles. I want to be undisputed, not just undisputed at one, a few weight divisions. So even when you get these, and a guy I did an interview with on Saturday, he was like, "Oh, it must be a bit of a kind of anti-climax. You went from Joy Apatow undercard to this one." And I said, "Well, no, no offense, no." I said, "It doesn't. Wherever the ring is, that's where I am. Wherever the date is, that's where I am. Wherever the slot is, that's where I am. I don't care. All I want to do is get in the ring, get the rounds, and fight. That's all that matters to me." There could be no one out there once I actually have someone inside in the ring and there's the opponent on the other side when I get to fight them. Once it gets me that one step closer to getting to where I want to go, I'll do whatever it takes.
So when I speaking, obviously, Katie, obviously, you seem to be the lucky omen for us, John. Obviously, after the first the last two Serrano fights, you've been part of the corner, and I know that obviously I'd seen clips and things like that you'd done when you were over there on the fight week, and you were sort of saying Katie was looking $1 million. Like that's I'm probably having to rewind back quite a bit to see when Katie was so dominant like that, like a sensational 39 years of age. Like I'm sure she's still inspiring everybody on a daily basis. Like I know a lot of talks now changing it, going, what's next for Katie? Does she hang them up? People keep talking of this Croke Park dream, which wouldn't be until next year as well. But like, if Katie decided to pack it in now, brilliant. But if she didn't decide to pack it in, she's looked amazing in her last fight, so there's no reason for her to pack it in some ways.
I said it last year. The older she's getting, the better she's getting. I said it last year and everybody ripped me off. All the interviews are there. I called it last year that she'd beat her more convincingly, and she did. She did. She boxed the ears off her. And then this time round, I seen a different version of Katie again. And I said it, and everyone's like, nah, nah. So I like reading the comments, I like seeing, and everybody had her written off. Everyone was like, nah, Amanda will walk through her. And I did an interview on Not Just Boxing, and I called it. And I said, Kate, you be 3-0. You will see the best version of Katie. And man, did you watch? Oh my God. Like, to be there and be ringside to watch it was probably the pinnacle. It was the best feeling in the world. But not only that, just to be a part of it. I got to meet Katie the day after the fight. And yeah, their memories I'll never ever get. I'll never be able to give away and I'll never be able to get back. I'll have them for the rest of my life, man. Katie Taylor is the trailblazer. I've been following that woman since I'm 12 years of age. I went around the whole of Ireland to every one of her amateur fights. And my goal, like I said, was to be her sparring partner when I first turned over back in 2023. And I got to be her sparring partner for two of the biggest fights of her entire career. And the how highly she spoke of me in the interviews and the feedback she gave me, man, like you can't buy that. Like it's off Katie Taylor. She is the GOAT. She's going to go down as the best woman the best boxer in history. I'm not even saying woman, man, woman, and child. There's no one going to do it like Katie Taylor. Nobody. So the fact that I'm the one that got to share the ring with her, the fact that she does speak so highly of me, think so highly, she's backing me all the way. She believes I'm going to be a world champion. Her whole team do. So the fact that I have that behind me, man, nothing in front of me is going to matter. Nothing.
It's I'm sure obviously in private probably Katie spoke to you obviously after the Elite fight. Like she's obviously had a defeat as a pro as well, and I know that Katie will not come out and say, but she had an injury obviously in that Cameron fight that she never spoke about, and just like she done what she could on the night and it just wasn't enough. Like I'm sure she's given you sort of, not that she needs to give anything to you, Shauna, to inspire in any way, but I'm sure she's give you words of encouragement. She's still speaking of you very highly. She wouldn't bring you into camp if she didn't think that you were going to help her achieve her best. So I'm sure she secretly said to you, you know, what's a loss on your record? As they say, records are for DJs. So like that you can bounce back, and particularly with Katie bringing you back in again, that's a big morale boost for you as well as you start to turn the wheels again.
Yeah, it's not only that, Steve. She actually kept me for dead last for a reason, because my rounds are more important than anybody else's. My rounds are the rounds that actually prepare for the fight. She said it to me the day after. She said sparring me was harder than our fights. She was like, "You're an absolute beast." But me and Katie in the ring together, lads, it's electric. She even said it. She was like, "It's blockbuster. People would pay to see it." They were her words, which they are. We get, man. Yeah, we make sweet music together is the best thing I'd say inside in the ring. It's phenomenal. But no, Katie and Ross messaged me straight after my fight, straight after the defeat, and sent me the most beautiful message ever. And obviously, when I went over, we had a good conversation about it. But the biggest thing that she took from it is like, "Shauna, no matter what happened," she was like, "you never left the gym." She said, "You stayed in the gym, even not knowing what was coming next, not knowing where you were going, what you were doing. Communication wasn't great with people." She said, "You kept going." And she said, "People will always see that. Hard work will always pay off, Shauna. Opportunities will always come for you because you always turn up. That is the thing that you take. And that's what's going to make you a world champion."
I will say I know I'm preparing here for the press conference today for Crocker Donovan too. I'm obviously not sure if this will go out before or after, depending obviously how long it takes to upload. But you've already mentioned there you have your eyes on September 13th. I guess every fighter, Sean, obviously in the Ireland of Ireland, even probably further afield, are looking on this card. Like, how confident are you that that potentially maybe Spencer can obviously get things sorted with matchroom to get you on the historic all Irish world title fight?
I'm literally having conversations. I'm going to keep pushing as much as I can. They need fighters that can sell tickets. I'm an Irish fighter. I'm well known. I'm really after building a good relationship with people. People really want to see me fight. They love watching me fight. You would not believe the amount of people that were disappointed over that loss. It shocked more people than you'll ever imagine. People kind of got slightly turned off boxing over it because I everyone loves my energy. I am a trailblazer. I go in and I get the job done. I show up in style and people want to see it. So for me to be able to get on the Crocker card, for me to get like told about it in time, to be able to sell a lot of tickets, I know I can. I've loads of people in the UK that want to come over. I've an abundance of people in Ireland that want to come. All I need is a date. All I need is time to sell tickets. That's all I want to do. They're all on about, you have to be marketable, you have to be able to sell tickets. But how are they supposed to know if we don't get the opportunities? Like Ela Turan, we got told about the potential date 4 weeks before, right? But it actually only got fully locked in the Monday. I only got to sell tickets the Tuesday. That's 3 days before the fight. The majority of the people had their tickets already. And even in the 3 days, I still sold 60 tickets. But everyone else had their tickets. So if I can do that in 3 days, what could I do in 5 and 6 weeks? I just need the opportunity to do it. That's all. They're on about who's going to be next to follow the or take the baton for Katie. All these things. I believe I can do it. I believe 100% I can do it. I can talk the talk. I can walk the walk. I look the part. I live in the gym, lads. I live in the gym. This sport is my life. 365 days of the year. I never take time off. It's the way you have to be. So that should be looked at. So that's why I definitely believe I should get the opportunity. And then it's redemption. If you see the amount of messages underneath the posts, people writing the minute I write under it, people saying, "We want Shauna on it. Redemption, redemption, redemption." I need to show that that was just a one-time thing. There was a lot of things like, and nobody knows what goes on in the background. And I'm not going to tell anybody. It's nobody's business. It isn't. But everyone that knows me knows that wasn't Shauna Browne that got in that ring at all. It wasn't. So why should I be knocked down because of one bad night at the office. I proved last Saturday night that it was one bad night at the office, and it is only going to get better from here. I just need the slots and the dates to prove myself. That's all I need to do. Everything else I can do myself. Just give me the date, and yeah, we'll get on with it.
Just obviously, finally, obviously, before I let you go, I obviously want to speak on with another two new females, obviously entering the professional ranks. Is it great for you to see, other ones following suit? Because I guess when there's only a limited pool of female professional fighters in Ireland, there's only so many to remember. Obviously, Cristina Desmond, obviously been there, done everything sort of as an amateur, and obviously young Sarah Murphy, obviously turning over as well. Is it great for you to see other ones coming behind as well? Because the bigger the talent pool that there is of female fighters in Ireland, the more opportunities there is for everybody.
Yes, of course. So obviously Katie, you have Christine McMahon, right? She was there from the first one. She's actually the first one I watched, so I knew I wanted to be a pro since I was 15, because my style was pro style boxing. And then obviously you have Katie. And then I turned over. Me and Casey spoke about it last year, because I did speak about it an awful lot. Why I don't understand why Irish female fighters don't turn over, because we have one of the best pools of female fighters in the world. In the world. And none of them aspire to do it. I do understand. A lot of them are paid handsomely in the amateurs. And this game is hard. This game is hard. Unless you have a promoter and unless you're moving straight into money, you have a fair bit of climbing. You have to be ready for that, and a lot of people aren't, which I understand. So Katie turned around. She was like, "Shauna, it's up to you to do what you're going to do to inspire people to do it." And now we see it. Because I spoke to Christina. Me and Christina have been speaking over and back for about a year about it. She's been toying with the idea for a year. So she messaged me about coming over to me and training with me for a week, just to get to see it, see what it's like and stuff. And I was over the moon. I was over the moon to hear that she was going to try it. Okay, I think Christina would be well in for it. And it's amazing to see Sarah as well, just make sure she's looked after. She is quite young, and it is a hard sport, man. It is a hard sport. But yeah, to have more women supporting pro boxing, especially in Ireland, yeah, it's huge. And we'll all support each other. You also have Kelsey Leonard. We can't leave
Yeah.
out poor Kelsey as well, because she's another woman that lives in the gym, and she obviously reached out to me as well a fair few months ago, just asking advice on it and stuff. Um, yeah, I think the biggest thing that those girls need to do, if they have any questions, please message me. Ask me whatever they want. I can help in any way that they can. I've been in the game over a year and a half. I've been through quite a lot, so I'll be able to guide them in any way that I can. But communicate and support each other. We're from the one little country. Make sure message each other, give each other the leg up when they need it. Biggest thing I say is support. It's one of the loneliest games in the world by far. So support goes a long way, even if it's a click on your social media, even if it's a little message on your DMs, even if it's a comment under your fight saying well done. Just support each other, lads. That's the biggest thing I'll say.
I think it's sometimes, I know there's so much talk obviously around women's boxing and things at times, but like in my opinion of the outside, like even though women's boxing, like look at that MVP card, it was stacked, like it's broke a record for the amount of world title fights on the card. But I think, and we spoke about this before on the 2 minute and 3 minute round stuff, women's boxing hasn't got to the stage of where the men's boxing is in terms of, the pay, the opponent sort of level it's there. Like in some weight divisions, you're probably lucky if there's 30 fighters at a weight. So maybe some amateurs are still skeptical of turning over because they know that not all the foundations are in place there. And as you say, we've got probably one of the best talent pools as amateurs. And sometimes people will go, we'll stick around amateur, maybe get our funding for another year, maybe another 2 years, and see how it is then. Like I think they're people still skeptical of turning over because not everything's like it is for men.
Yeah, I believe so. I think it's just because they have everything at their disposal in the high performance, which they do. They're very, very well looked after, and they're part of a team. And you also need to remember, when you come out in a pro, you don't have a team around you. You're pretty much on your own, depending on the stable that you're in. And even in a stable, you can still tend to be on your own. So it's a big, big change, massive change that a lot of people wouldn't be able to adapt to from going to having a massive team and huge support around you to having nobody. Like, that takes a lot of mental strength, a lot of mental strength. So a lot of people just wouldn't be into it. I had a conversation as well with lovely Grainne. Grainne is one of my absolute gems, Grainne Walsh. And if there's anybody in Ireland that has the pro style, it's her. It is her. And I've tried, but she's happy out where she is. And I respect it, man. Leave them do what they do. There's a lot of people that just, they suit the amateurs. Maybe leave them in the amateurs, because turning over just because you were great in the amateurs doesn't mean you're going to be great in the pros, unfortunately. Just because you've every medal in the cabinet and you've done everything, you've the best criteria in the game, doesn't mean you're going to be the best in pro boxing. It's two different things for a reason. It is. And that's just the reality of it.
Finally, obviously, I just want to give you a moment just to say to Eddie Hearn, I'm sure you'll obviously be messaging and things like that to get on the card, but obviously this is your moment to tell Eddie Hearn why that you should be on Crocker Donovan 2 at Windsor Park on the 13th September.
Because I need to just prove that I can sell tickets. I can get a crowd going very, very well, as everyone could see in Belfast and all my fights. Even if you see the last fight, the whole of Stoke Hall were singing my song, chanting my song before I walked out. It was just incredible. So I can get a crowd going. I'm an exciting fighter to watch, and I can sell tickets. I have the gift of the gab. I do. I can fight too. I just need the slots. I need the opportunities, and it's there. It is there. I just want it, please.
Definitely. Well, Shauna, look, thanks as always for your time. Obviously, great to see you back to winning ways. Fingers crossed it isn't going to be too long before we see you back in action. And I'm sure I'll catch up with you in person very soon as well.
100%. Thank you so much, and have a good day.
Cheers, Shauna. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.